Welcome to the Business Blast Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. This episode is brought to you by Authors Unite. Authors Unite provides you with the support you need to finish your book. Best part is, after you finish your book, they take care of the entire publishing and marketing process 100% for you. So, if you want to become a successful author, make sure to check out authorsunite.com. Now, let's jump into the episode. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Business Blast Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. Today, I have Troy Lambert with us. He is a freelance writer, editor, and author who is an expert in content marketing. He has published 10 novels and has 2 more in production and owns his own freelance writing company, Unbound Media. So welcome to the show, man.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Of course, man. Pumped to have you here. Let's dive into the first one, Troy. The first one I got for you is, what is the best story from your life that has an underlying valuable message?
Oh, man. Probably one of the best stories is when I was much younger. Of course, people told me, I would tell them I wanted to be a writer, and they'd say, oh, that's really funny. What are you going to do to make money? And I had an English teacher in college that was like, hey, you have real potential. And you really can make it as a writer. And that was one of the turning points of my life, was to recognize that I can actually do this for a living and I can make money at it.
And what is the most valuable piece of information we should know that's within your expertise or industry?
That real artists and real writers don't have to starve. You can get paid for what you do. There's kind of a myth out there and it's almost a joke among different authors that, hey, I'm a starving artist, I'm a starving author, I don't make any money, and it's a kind of a humorous and funny persona to have. But if you treat your art and your writing like a business, which is what it actually is, then you can make money at it. So I would say that my one message that I talk about all the time is that you don't have to starve. You don't have to not make money. You can write and make a living.
And what is your best piece of overall business advice? You're not necessarily industry specific.
Overall business advice, my primary thing is to persevere. There's a friend of mine and I that he owns his own business as well. And what we often say to each other is stumble forward. Even if you're stumbling, even if you feel like you're falling, just continue moving forward. And things will come out, things will work that you didn't necessarily would think would be the way things would work in the first place. I mean, the way I started my business now was that I literally stumbled into a couple different niches. It was like, okay, I can write in those niches. I know other writers that can write in those niches. And now I have a company all of a sudden, which was from an individual freelance writing career that I was just getting too much work that I couldn't do, and decided I needed to do something with that. So if you continue to stumble forward, you'll succeed. It may not look like what you think it'll look like now, but you'll succeed.
And if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that be?
If I could give my younger self one piece of advice, it'd be, don't listen to the critics. I've had a lot of critics in my life, obviously, and I've had a lot of critics along the way that have said that I can't do what I'm actually doing. And I would just tell my younger self to ignore them. I would start on this journey that I'm on. I would have started it much younger.
And kind of going a little bit down a different path, in your opinion, what is the key to happiness?
I think the key to happiness is balance. I lived my life out of balance for a long time in several different ways. And I think the key is that work-life balance. It's hard. I tend to be more of a workaholic. So for me, working at home means not that I never leave home. So I'm not necessarily tempted by all the things of walking the dog and the laundry and the kitchen and all those kind of things, but it's that I never leave work. And so I have to have a system in place to leave work, to shut the office door, to get out of here and actually go have a life and interact with life. And I think that work-life balance is really the key to happiness.
And what is the best book that you've read, and what was the number one thing you learned from that?
Ooh, that one's really tough. On a business side, I would say that the best book I've read two in the recent past that have made a big difference to me. One of them is called The One Thing by Gary Keller. And it talks about the myth of multitasking and focusing on one thing at a time, which has enabled me in my business life and my personal life to just do some simple time blocking. I'm saying this is time for this is time for this, and not to allow distractions to interfere with that, not to multitask a lot less. The other one is titled Lost and Founder. It just came out by Rand Fishkin, who's the guy who founded Moz, if you're familiar with the SEO world. And his book talks about the reality of starting a business and what that actually looks like. And it's a very frank and honest look at things that also comes with some great advice. And I'd say both those books are top of my list right now.
And what is your favorite quote and why?
Oh, man. That is a tough one. Probably my favorite quote overall is "Kill your darlings." It's kind of a cliche, "Kill your darlings," that Stephen King said on writing. And I think that's one of the things that helps me the most in my writing every day, is not to become emotionally attached to it once it's finished and once it's a product. And just kill your darlings and move forward with your work.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on. The last one I have for you before we let you go is, where is the best place for people to find and or connect with you online?
I can be found all kinds of places online. The easiest place to probably connect with me is on LinkedIn. Just Troy, if you look up Troy Lambert, you'll find me. And that's probably the easiest way to professionally connect with me. And then there's tons of other ways, of course, but that's probably the simplest.
Perfect, man. Thanks again for jumping on.
You betcha. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.